Hey everybody, Ben here with We Go Fishing.
Karen.
Karen is here with me, and welcome to another Unsolicited Advice. Alright, so once again, I went on Reddit as I have been doing and perusing the weirdness of Reddit and trying to find questions that people have regarding things that are
Related
to fishing, yeah, because that's what I know the best, I guess. I don't know. So I try to find things to be helpful, you know, and so here, this one user was asking about beginning surf fishing. Apparently they live in California. Now I will say, I've never fished in California, so I don't know anything about specifically surf fishing in California. But he was asking for surf fishing tips, and so I thought, hey, this would be a good time to say, here's some beginner surf fishing tips. I've surf fished on the East Coast, now the Gulf Coast, and really the equipment that we use is the same. So I would think on the left coast, it would be the same. Yeah. So
it's a little colder.
It's a little colder.
Pacific is cold. You haven't fished there. It's pretty cold.
It's a little cold, and depending on where you are on the coast, there's places that are rocky too, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've been there.
My grandfather loved fishing the Pacific, so
okay.
You know, when he died, he wanted his ashes spread across the Pacific by helicopter.
The whole Pacific?
As far as you could get, so by helicopter.
Helicopter.
You just kind of, I guess, sprinkle it around. But he loved fishing the Pacific, so I know you can, and so maybe we can help these guys out.
Yeah, so maybe we can help you out with some things that we use when we go surf fishing. These are things, if I was telling somebody, hey, you can get started surf fishing for under $50, you really can. It's not very hard, and it is very cheap. It's not a hard, but it's a fun way to fish. So this person said they were new. They had an ultralight fishing rod they used for bass fishing. It was a 5-foot rod.
I'll probably know.
Can you use a 5-foot rod? You can. Are you going to be successful using a 5-foot rod?
Not on a shark.
I'm not going to use a 5-foot rod. I think my smallest surf fishing rod is 9 foot.
Well, let's show them what we got.
All right. So this is what I have, and this is, like I said, this is cheap. This is a two-piece surf fishing rod. This is a 13-foot rod. I got to get it up in the camera.
You see how big the reel is?
Yeah, the reel. It's a 6,000 series reel, and I have it strung with 60-pound mono. Now I probably will replace that with braid. I just honestly didn't want to spend the money on 60-pound braid.
Well, it came with it for free.
And it came with it, so I just said, okay. And that's why I'm showing you a budget setup. I'm not showing you an elite setup. I'm showing you a budget setup. This is a cheap rod. I got at Walmart. It's the first surf fishing rod I bought when we were married. And it's lasted. Mm-hmm. Haven't had any problems with it. I rinse it off every time I use. I go out there and I keep it nice and clean, and it works very good. It's 13 foot. So you can really get it out there. It is a 2-piece rod, so here's the other part, and I like it. I like the action of it. I actually do. It's a really decent rod. I really do like the action of this rod. So you're going to need a good surf fishing rod, I think. Again, this one's 13 foot. I think anything under 9 foot is probably going to be a little small, unless you're doing plugs and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like if you're doing lures in the surf, you probably can get away with something smaller.
And the reason for that is, you know, when you have a longer rod, that increases your casting distance.
Right? That's what you're going for.
You want to get it out there.
Yeah,
you don't want to plop it right in front of you.
Especially if you're using cut bait, live mullet, things like that. We're going to want to get it out there to the second, third breaker. And
we don't use drones like some people do, so we have to cast really far.
So, yeah, you can do that too. And we do have, I have used our 7.5-foot rods, 7.6 rods. I have used those out there when I'm in close using for whiting and small fish.
Yeah. Usually when it's not rough and it's
got to be rough
and it's early in the morning, you're going for a trout.
This is a game changer. If you're not familiar with these guys, these are, and I'll get it up to close to the camera. These are sand anchor weights, and they have these what do you want to call them, Karen? Hands, prongs,
spider
legs that come off of the actual weight.
I call them spider weights.
It attaches to, this is a 4-ouncer. You can get 2-ounce, 3-ounce. You can get 6-ounce ones.
I mean, some of them are round and some of them are pyramid. It doesn't really matter.
No, but I like these the best because what it does is it digs into the sand. Mm-hmm. And so it helps you really hold bottom better. So I would think if a beginning surf fishing tip, pick up some of these. Pick them up in 2-ounce. To 4-ounce.
For smaller rods, 2-ounce, 3-ounce, but also depending on how rough it is.
Yeah, if you have a small rod, don't use anything. Don't use a big one because your rod's not going to be able to handle it. But like a lot of times, for one of the big rods, I start off with 4 ounces. And then that works pretty good. Helps us get out there. And what I do,
and the next question everyone always asks, well, how do you clip that on?
Yeah.
So
well,
show them that.
When I hand tie these are my. You can buy ones like this that are pre-made, but I tie my own because just been doing this for a while. This is a single drop rig, and you can see the hook there with the float. This side ties onto your main line. This is the clip that you clip the weight on. And so you're gonna clip your weight on there, and it's got your single hook that comes off. And this is a live bait or cut bait rig.
This is for your bait.
It is a 5/0 Kale hook, is what I use when I'm out there in the surf. So and the float just keeps it off bottom. But you can get these pre-made. I mean, you don't have to tie them yourself. I tie them myself because I've been doing this for a while. So I use the T.
But make sure you buy more than one. You will lose some tackle.
You might get cut off. You know, sharks are out there.
Exactly.
You're going to cut off. And if you want pre-made ones, things like this at Walmart, these are about $1, $2. $2. They're called pompano rigs. They have 3 hooks on them. And this is a great way to get started. Now, some places you're not allowed to use 3 hooks. You can use 2 hooks. But this would be something I would say, hey, if you're getting ready to get started and you don't know what to buy, you don't know what to do, go to Walmart and get yourself a bunch of these $2 floats. These do work.
And those
we have caught tons of fish on these.
Your smaller, your 9-foot rods work better with these and your smaller weights.
Or even a 7.5-foot rod.
Smaller rods, because you're going for smaller fish with these. You're going for the whiting or the pompano in some areas, or the smaller fish. You will catch catfish though.
Yeah, you will, and that brings me to the thing that I think everybody should have on the beach: good pair of pliers. You're gonna need a good pair of pliers because if you hook a shark or if you hook a catfish, you're going to want to get that thing off. So get yourself a good pair of pliers.
Gloves would be helpful.
Gloves are helpful too, so you don't get stabbed.
Yeah.
But the last thing that I would say, especially if you're using these pompano rigs, these pre-made rigs, fish bites.
Fish bites. Now you see them everywhere, and you're like, does that really work?
It does work.
And yes, it does. We actually like the shrimp one the best,
flea.
But this is sand flea.
They come in flea, crab, fish. They come in all kinds of different flavors and scents. Yeah, the pink. I don't know. The pink shrimp ones just does work the best for us. But what they do say is if you can get the advantage of knowing what's hatching, then you can do better. So if sand fleas are out there, the fish are going to be eating those. If shrimp have hatched recently, they're going to be eating those. So if you know the season and you know things like that, that can actually help you out with matching them. But I find best success with the shrimp.
But
because everything eats shrimp.
If you are new.
We've caught redfish on the shrimp ones.
And you've seen these fish bites. You don't put the whole slab onto your hook. You don't wind it around. You actually just cut a small 1-inch piece.
Yeah. Yeah, and so what you're going to, and actually on the back of the package, it talks about how to rig them. They're really easy to rig, and you can do multiple hook penetration, single hook, but you really, even the size of your thumbnail, you don't really need that much, especially if you're targeting the whiting and the smaller fish that are in there, even pompano. You just don't need that much. So what I would say is that's your basic surf fishing setup. It's not going to be that hard. Things that are helpful are sand spikes, especially if you're using a big rod. Holding a big rod like that 13-foot rod all day will hurt your back.
So something to set it in.
So a sand spike can help you with that. You can either make them yourself or you can buy them. They're not that expensive. I make them out of PVC pipes, but you can use those. But if you're using a smaller rod, like either the 9-foot rods or 7.5-foot rods, close in fishing, then you can definitely, you don't need the sand spikes. You're going to be holding on to it anyway. Anything else you think they need?
No, I think maybe a beach chair so you can sit down.
Maybe a knife if you're using cut bait. You're probably gonna need a knife or something like that. But it's really not that hard to get into surf fishing. I take people surf fishing normally as their first exposure because it is easy. And normally you're going to catch something, even if it's catfish. And I know we're anglers and things. We don't like catching the catfish, but
you just don't get hung up as bad as fishing at jetties and things like that.
No,
and you do catch fish,
surf
it's just not always the fish you want.
Yeah, but you're most likely in the surf, you are going to catch something, May not be always the target species, but you will catch something. So in any case, that's what I would say to get you started there in surf fishing. I think it's an easy and really rewarding way to get into fishing. Get your kids into it. It's fun for them because they can be playing on the beach and then the rods go off and then you can hook something and hand it to them. So it's an easy thing for families to do as well. Great summertime activity. So hope that helps. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. That really does help us out.
It really does.
Give us a thumbs up as well. We like the thumbs up. All the thumbs. I don't know how many thumbs up they can give us, but give them all. And share it out. Maybe other people need to know how to get started surf fishing. Again, it's something that we do pretty regularly. So get out there and do it. And don't worry if you get skunked. Everybody gets skunked. Just go out there and have fun. You know?
Yeah.
All right. And until next time.
May you always catch your limit.